It can be hard to know when you need a new job. As a rule, if you hate going to work every day, it may be time. If you hate going to work and your coworkers don't respect you,
hey, dummy,
it may be time. If you hate going to work, your coworkers don't respect you,
dummy,
and you always wish you were somewhere else, it may be time. If you hate going to work, your coworkers don't respect
hey,
you,
dummy,
you wish you were somewhere else, and you cry constantly, it may be time. If you hate going to work, no one respects you, you wish you were somewhere else, you cry constantly, and you daydream of punching small animals.
Oh dear.
It may be time. If you hate going to work, no one respects you, you wish you were somewhere else, you cry constantly, you daydream of punching small animals, and you sit next to this guy, it may be time. If you make loads of money, it may not be time.
Let's go.
But if you make loads of money, you hate going to work, no one respects you, you wish you were somewhere else, you cry constantly, you daydream of punching small animals, and you sit next to this guy, it's probably time. As a rule.
Yo, welcome to Under the Influence, Cocktails and Consciousness. This is a critical thinking platform where we discuss issues important to the Black millennial and some issues not so important. As we know, some of those issues are tough to handle sometimes, so we handle it with a cocktail. Welcome, I'm your host, Caleb, and joining me is the lovely Ivory.
Hi.
Hey, Ivory. All right, so we're going to get into it. Today's topic is to work or not to work. That is the question. All right, so basically, you know, the millennial these days, we're starting to see, you know, a new way of the game is on the horizon, and that's causing a lot of us to be like, with this work stuff, because, you know, we see people who are able to work for themselves. Entrepreneurship is big on the rise, and you know, we're definitely kind of not seeing this corporate structure the same way we did, or even working for the people. Now, if you are one of those Black millennials who is tuned in, this is for you. Now, to the other ones who are kind of stuck on the baby boomer, silent generation hustle, then this is not for you.
It could be for them, because even some of those people are sometimes think about being entrepreneurs or working independently. Some of them actually have done that, so there are a few that are ahead of their time, and it's never too late.
Yeah, it's never too late. I mean, definitely, if you are one of those people who are snapped into it, but, you know, I believe that some of those people look at us like, well, y'all, what y'all doing? Y'all crazy? This is the way it is.
True.
So, like, if you're one of those, then I mean, you could be you could be an honorary millennial. You know, if your mindset's like ours, then we definitely need numbers. I mean, because we definitely.
There are also some millennials who are completely content with working a 9-to-5 too. So, you know, I'm just big on like not generalizing.
It's contagious. That's what I was saying. Like those other people.
It's very enticing.
Those other people who are like, you know what? Nah, what y'all doing? Those are the ones that's, you know, plaguing the millennials who are supposed to all be in the same mindset. You know, the mindset. Now, make sure we get this clear. We talk about mindset. I mean, you don't have to be doing it right now. I mean, because most of the millennial generation right now is definitely a younger generation. We have shit to get together first. You know, so all of us aren't in a position where we can just do this, but to work or not to work is basically, you know, just going to be a topic to kind of, you know, give you a little bit of knowledge on. All right. So, what do you feel about that? Like when you hear that?
Well, I think that everybody, some level, everyone who is born and raised in this country, in the world, but specifically this country, finds some contentment in identity and working, and everybody, you know, has to work. I think it's a matter of like working to build someone else's passion or working to build your own passion. So even though, you know, we're entitling this podcast work or not to work, the bottom line is that we all have to put in work in order to get to some place in our life. It's just a matter if that work is intentional on building yourself or intentional on building someone else's brand. And so I think that's the essential question that we are trying to find an answer to. And so I guess it's a matter of the individual importance on whether person wants to is okay with, if getting a paycheck and living their day-to-day lives, or if someone thrives off of doing something that they're passionate about, and living in that delayed gratification of maybe not getting those paychecks right away. So yeah.
I definitely agree. And when I say to work or not to work, I'm thinking like, we all have to have a certain, a certain kind of work. You know what I mean? Like we talked about yesterday, like with an entrepreneur, they have work too, but to work as an entrepreneur is not actually to work. You know what I mean? Because you definitely want to do something that you're liking to do. Because anytime you do that, like you say, you're not working. But also, as an entrepreneur, you have to put in, time doing things that you necessarily don't want to do. Also, you might have to do, especially you're gonna have to do it times 10, because there's no other person who can help you or you can pass it down to, or anything. So it's all gonna be on you. Some of that groundwork as far as an entrepreneur. Let me say, maybe stuffing letters. You know what I mean? Or conversations, cold calling people, or, stuff like that. It's stuff you actually have to do as an entrepreneur too. But you can limit that to 30% of everything else you do. And 70% of the stuff you do is not actually working because you're passionate about it. Now, when you go to work every day and you don't like anything that you're doing, and all you do is dream about doing something else, like it doesn't touch you at all, not one part of your day, then I believe that's working. Because, when you look at the clock and time goes super slow, and I think this is just a different form of working. I don't know. So that's when I say to work or to not to work, that's the question.
Yeah, it's a good question to ask. I struggle with the idea of people feeling like there's a choice in the matter. And like, although we all have choices, I think that people have a misconception that if you choose to not work, quote unquote, and you pursue like, your own passion or some level of entrepreneurship, that you don't have to put in the grind and the hustle that you would have that you did at your 9-to-5 job. When in actuality, you have to put in more work, and you have to, it becomes a part of your life. And so I think a lot of people, especially young people, have that misconception that like, I work at high school, I work with young people, and they always say, I want to be an entrepreneur. And I think that's great. I'm all for it. I think that that's what people should go for. But I think that a lot of people say that because it sounds like I don't have to have nobody telling me what to do. I don't have to get up or too early. I don't have to, deal with people that I don't want to deal with. And actually, that's not true at all. Like, there's times when you got to get up before everybody gets up to get things done, and you got to deal with people that you don't want to deal with, so your brain can grow. And the difference, I assume, is that you're doing it for yourself and not for someone else. But I just don't want people to buy into the idea that like, you're not going to have to work hard, because you're going to have to work very, very hard, twice as hard.
Definitely. And I think I definitely agree with you. And I think a lot of that work also is mentally.
Yes.
Like you're gonna have to do a lot of mental work in order to do that. People who are, successful entrepreneurs, they have a different mindset than others.
Right.
They and it's really like, you don't just get that overnight. It's one of those things that comes through struggle. It's kind of like embedding your brain or something else. Like, it's like deplugging your brain. I think about like the Matrix, and every time they stuck that long cord into Neo's brain out of it, it was like a pain. He felt it, but then after it was over, like, he was tuned into a whole nother level of understanding. And I think it's that same way. To be an entrepreneur, you have to endure maybe, I don't know, it's gonna be self-taught with the classes, but it's gonna be like self-taught. Like, you gotta find this type of information and learn it. And then you have to deal with the emotional stress of your family, your friends, those around you who don't necessarily, believe or don't necessarily understand what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that mental work is harder than being at work and, really kind of being able to go into auto-tune. And that's a luxury of working. You kind of get to go into auto-tune sometimes. It kind of gets repetitive.
Right.
Because things are usually kind of like done towards an assembly line. Now, assembly line has a couple workers on it doing different things. Now, you're an entrepreneur, you actually become that assembly line yourself. And you probably most likely have limited resources at the beginning, so you can't even employ other people to take part of the assembly line. So it's going to be totally up to you. So
I think though also that it makes it easier to be able to, ignore what not necessarily, or put on the blinders of what family and friends have to say, or tackle those mental blocks when what you're trying to build is something that you absolutely believe in. So like I remember, we haven't watched the documentary yet, but I remember seeing a clip about, like, it's called The Startup Kid, and they were a group of people who started these innovative technology apps, but they talk about the process of, like, nobody believing and really being in a state of isolation, and for a couple years until what they had, their idea came to reality. And it was obsessive, and it was oftentimes lonely, but they fed off of their passion and what they believed in, and then next thing you know, like, they're millionaires because of it. So if your passion feeds you and it's something that keeps you up at night and something you can't shake, and it's the first thing you think of in the morning and the last thing you think of at night, then you'll be okay. But you gotta be willing to put in the work. And for those who don't know what that is yet, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with working for someone until you figure it out. That's the way that you figure it out too, because you can compare and contrast, and you see how other people do things, and it's like the process of elimination. So
definitely, you also get a chance to learn the game.
Right.
So if you are going to work, trying to get into something as close, or closer to the thing you want to do, so that you kind of can learn the game. You kind of can network and pick up some of the the big players in the game, or some of the small players in the game that could down the line connect you to the bigger players in the game. But it should always be something at the end of the day that you're doing for you.
Right. Yes.
And that's hopefully, hopefully, because and I might just be biased, but I just can't see it anymore past a couple generations now, or maybe two more, of like people really like working for someone else to a certain extent. Because I feel like what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to start to create stuff, especially in our generation, and they are going to have workers. Mm-hmm. And that won't be such a bad thing, because smaller projects, I feel like it's a lot better to do than a bigger project. Mm-hmm. It's like the same thing with college. Like, you go into a smaller school, like, everybody knows your name, like everybody's
Cheers.
Right, and all your teachers, like, it's like, but like at a bigger school, you become a number. So I think it's the same thing, and when you're working with somebody who's very passionate about doing what they're doing, then I think it's a different thing. Because if you're working with somebody who's not even passionate about what they're doing, and it's like, they kind of like hate it, then they'll kind of like come at you to express that hate or express their negativity they feel, and that's not going to be a good spot. Because I think that's why a lot of people have bad bosses today. A lot of people have bad bosses today, because your boss is really like focused only on money,
not happy with being there, not happy with the decision they made.
Yeah, just focus on the bottom line.
Right.
Because it's not supposed to be about that. It's not supposed. That's a very perverted part of society, where everything that we do is about money.
Yeah.
And it ruins things. Because I think it comes from the fact that it's supposed to be about resources. Everything we do is supposed to be about resources. Like, if we didn't have money, then everybody would be like around farming, and they would be doing everything that we do, that we have, done automatically. We'd be doing it manually, and the passion would be in that. And in doing that daily, that would be like just living life. That would be like, you living life to its fullest.
But that's to assume that people would all people enjoy farming. It's a way to get resources, but people do it to get resources, but that doesn't mean everybody enjoys it.
Yeah, but I just think, I don't know, maybe think about this though. Back in the day, nobody had a choice. You really didn't have a choice, because there was nothing manufactured.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what happened now is what represents that is money. All that, everything that you could be doing on a daily basis is simulated into money. So now all you need is money. Because before you needed a crop, or you need to make, people sold to make garments, or they did certain things. But like, think about your day is spent like, it's almost like being a part of nature. You're seeing something and you're making something every day. You know what I mean? And then you get money. You wasn't getting money. You was able to eat that crop.
Right.
So it's like, what I'm saying, but the whole process of making it, you were more caught up in the process than you were in the result.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I feel like now, today, it's the reverse. You want to rush the process. You don't care about it. You don't care about doing. Because think about this: if you rush stuff like with like farming or like planting, you rush it, and it doesn't get enough water or enough sunlight or enough care, it's ruined. So it doesn't even matter at the end.
So let's take that back to how it relates to working or not working.
Because it's like, when you're working and you're doing something you want to do, that's like farming. Literally, you are being careful in the process. You're being careful in the day-to-day. You want to make sure everything's good. Then at the end of the day, you're going to have something that's good and you can eat from it. But when you're working, you're just going through the motions and you're like, whatever, it's for the check. And you get the check and then...
Okay, look. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you just said two things that like, I got lost.
I just started thinking about...
You said when you're working, when you're farming, it's like you're working and you're into the process. But then when you work in a job, you're not into the process.
No, farming is like the metaphor. Yeah, it's like the metaphor. You know what I mean? It's like farming is like not working. It's like we're being an entrepreneur. Cause we talk about working, we talk about working for like,
But that's what I'm saying is I don't believe that's a good metaphor, because when you talk about farming, people have to do it to get resources. They have to. Even there are some people that enjoy it, but there's some people who don't enjoy it, but they know that they have to get up and do it because they need to eat, and then they need to, have plants, and they need to feed their animals and all of this. So like, it's not necessarily connected to entrepreneurship to me, because entrepreneurship, there's an element of like, I believe in what I'm doing and I enjoy it on some levels. Now, if you're saying this, all entrepreneurship doesn't require you to enjoy it, then that's something different.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, maybe farm was a bad thing to use, because some people like farming. Nigga, I want to farm.
Talking about farming.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the process. You know what I mean? Some people could say brushing your hair. Some people could say the process of growing your beard, growing dreads, or the process of going natural. The process, processes that you like.
Choose to do.
Yeah, so like that's the better example. Okay, processes that you like. Think about the process that you like. You don't mind doing the work. Mm-hmm. Even if some of it's mundane, it's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like I just said, growing dreads, we know that. Growing braids, when you're growing your hair, you know what I mean? Or stuff like that. Working out, you know what I mean? Like the whole process is like, okay, because you still at the end of the day.
Everybody don't enjoy that either. But they do it because they have.
Damn it! I hope y'all can relate to one of them things I named. You know what I mean? Because hopefully you like something. But out of the one you like, or it's maybe something that comes to mind. Or what comes to your mind when you think? What's something that you like to do?
We had some good examples about like the process of like growing your hair out if people choose to transition, or grow your beard out, or I like the idea of losing weight. Right. If people but it has to hit a person. Like, and that is a good example in terms of like entrepreneurship, because it hits you like, I'm tired of this type of lifestyle. I want this lifestyle, and I'm willing to do the necessary steps to get there. And I'm watching the process happen, and I'm a part of it, and so that is a good comparison. But it's just that idea of people consciously making the decision that that's what they want, and be willing to be patient and go through the process until the result happens, as opposed to like kind of being unconscious and going through the motions so you can get your paycheck in 2 weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm not knocking people who do that, because we have people that have, need to survive and take care of their families, and we live in a society where it's strategically structured so that people can be worker bees and put money in the pockets of rich people. And so it's hard to to shake from that and feel empowered to do your own thing. So I don't want to like demoralize people who choose to work, but I think what you said earlier is true, that like even when you choose to work a 9 to 5, I think it's essential that you find something that you enjoy and that you believe in to do as well, because to keep a level of like independence and self-reliance for yourself. I think that's important.
Yeah, in your mind. I mean, shit. When you start sacrificing,
Yeah.
and it's nothing at the end of the day for you, you'll start to kind of get numb, and that'll show in your daily life as far as dealing with your family and dealing with everything. You're like, whatever. And I feel like in a society that's getting more and more numb, that's the reason. Especially people are waking up to it. People were doing stuff unconsciously, like I say, generations before us. They didn't know anything else to be possible. They didn't know that anything else was supposed to be. They knew what they saw. I mean, after the World War, we had to build this country again, and that's what we did. You know what I mean? But like now, when you look around you, and it's the big talk, and it's everybody's talking about it, like damn. So and if that starts to dawn on you, man, like hey, if it hits a chord, maybe it should be you.
Yeah, I think people are waking up, but I think that there are some levels of, I think it depends on who you surround yourself with and what you focus on, because I still find myself interacting with people where I'm like, dang, like you are simply working, and you don't, for now, you mentally don't have a desire to do anything else, and you're happy with being able to buy nice things and pay your rent, and like, but I also feel that there's an emptiness in that too that I see.
Yeah, man.
So,
Yeah.
And then when you try to spark that conversation, like, well, do you like what you do, or do you think about doing something else? I think most I would venture to say everybody or some of us thought about like, I wish I could do this or be this or pursue this, but I think that the problem is being empowering yourself and believing that you can, and that's the process that's the hardest.
Yeah, that's a mental thing.
Yeah,
it's definitely a mental thing. But like having nice stuff is cool, but like it only makes you want to get more stuff. Cause we live in a society of more.
Yeah.
Like literally, when you set your mind on something, that's cool. Cause you have a goal, you want to go get it, you buy it, perfect, it's in your hand, you get to play with it.
Right.
But then it's like, it gets old, and then you want something else.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Especially if you get it not for you, especially if you get it to impress somebody else. So if you're doing stuff from the outside, if you're trying to press the outside in, so you can press your inside, then you're gonna be in a bad spot. Like we talked about with if you buy some Jordans, not for you, not because you like Jordan. Let's say you like Jordans, cool, no problem. That's just your thing. But most people buy Jordans, I feel like, because everybody buys Jordans. Because they want to impress everybody else. Damn, them what's names, them new what's names, and like that thing makes you be like, oh, you feel warm inside. Like that's so fucked up. Mm-hmm. It's messed up, man. It's messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like once those get scuffed up or maybe wrinkled up a little bit, or they're not new, then people are gonna stop saying that to you, and then you gotta go get something new.
Go get, yeah.
So like, hell no. Don't get caught in that slippery slope, man, and wake up at 45. Because you get to an age where people look at your feet, be like, why the fuck are you still wearing Jordan, nigga? And then what?
That's horrible.
That's what happens though.
I know, and I just think about, hey, I feel like it's so sad when you see a man in his 50s and 60s and he's dressing like he's 20, 25, like, that's like no growth process at all. Like,
he's in a continuum of letting the outside affect his inside. So shit, even if he stops wearing Jordans, then he'll start doing something else. That's why you see no old school cats. It's in the new spots. Not the new spots, but the old school cats is around the younger people trying to floss with this and this and that, because they still haven't found out that they need that it's something on the inside that gets everything else. And that just sucks, man. But it starts when you're young, man. It starts with this time in your life when you're young, and then going numb right now, and then not knowing. And it sucks to wake up later. That's like, damn, man, you might die. It sucks to be 60 and wake up. Like hell to the no.
I think it's any time, any time you wake up, I think it's always good. Like I said, it's never too late. What sucks is when you die and you never had experience to be able to live within your skin as the person you always wanted to be or you could have been, which happens every day.
Yeah. So man, that's it in a nutshell, man. To work or not to work? That's the question. We all know it is going to require a little bit of work in whatever you do, because you got to have resources in life. Unfortunately, right now,
a lot of work.
You got to, right? A lot of work. Well, I don't see this. We have to cover this topic again, man. We might do a part 2. Let us know what you think about this in the comment box, along with liking this. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. And we'll definitely see about having another part 2 of this, because I feel like we can go on and on about this. This is going to be something that's going to be touching us for a long time.
Yeah.
I think public policy is going to start being surrounded around us a little bit if they don't try to take it over. All right, so until next time, man, this is Caleb and Ivory signing off on Under the Influence Cocktails and Consciousness.
Goodbye.